Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called The New Manager. I've been with my company for over 18 years. I run my area more or less solo, and I've got it down to a science. We are a high-end production facility, and I work in the incoming quality and test engineering team. My job is all about staying ahead of production, anticipating what's coming, coordinating with production and inventory, and juggling requests from the development engineers to test new products. In short, I plan, prioritize, and pivot constantly. It's what keeps the wheels turning smoothly. Then, enter the new manager. From our very first meeting, there were warning signs. He clearly didn't like not being the smartest person in the room, and I think my experience rubbed him the wrong way. A few weeks into the job, he sent out a company-wide email that said, no one can alter his schedule without going through me first. I will set his priorities and work hours going forward. Now, I knew immediately this would break the delicate flow I had built over the years. But fine. He wanted control, he could have it. Fast forward 1 week. 2 product design qualifications landed on my desk, and a customer made a surprise visit to watch the testing. This was a big deal. Unfortunately, my manager had left strict instructions. I was to work on production material only, no exceptions. And guess what? No one could reach him. He had taken a work from home day, but wasn't answering any of his contact numbers. Eventually, someone tracked him down at the local park with his kids. But by then, the customer had already left, upset, frustrated, and unimpressed. The next week, my manager called me into his office. He actually tried to write me up for not testing the product in front of the client. I didn't say much. I just handed him a printed copy of his own email and said, if we are doing this, I'd like the write-up to be witnessed by someone from HR. He delayed the meeting by 3 days, clearly hoping to prep the HR rep on his version of the story. But when the meeting came, it didn't go as he planned. The HR rep opened with a simple question. Why didn't you test the product for the client? I handed her the email and said, I was told, in writing, that I wasn't allowed to change my schedule without going through this manager. I followed that directive exactly, and now I'm being written up for doing so. I'd like to file a harassment complaint. The color drained from his face. His voice cracked as he stammered. Now, let's just slow this down a bit. The HR rep couldn't just dismiss the complaint. Company policy requires all harassment claims to be investigated. The meeting ended right there. The complaint was officially documented. He got a verbal warning. That was 2 years ago. Since then, he's avoided me like the plague. Won't even tell me when staff meetings are happening. I usually hear about them from someone else the next day. And honestly, that suits me just fine. The less I see him, the smoother my job runs. The next story is called CC on every email. I work in client services. Basically, I'm the go-between for our clients and our internal teams. My manager's not super hands-on, which is usually fine. I know how to keep things running. But last month, out of the blue, she tells me, hey, can you CC me on every client email, just for transparency? No problem. She wants transparency, she's gonna get it. So I started CCing her on everything. And I mean everything. That included the polite but pointed emails from clients, asking why she skipped their meeting, and the ones where I had to explain delays, because she hadn't sent over the files she promised. A few days in, she started replying to some threads with corporate classics like, let's take this offline. That backfired fast. One client shot back with, this wouldn't be an issue if you'd shown up. That was awkward. She hasn't said a word about CCing since. But if she ever brings it up again, let's just say, I've got a few drafts saved and ready to go. The third story is called Can't Park Here. I'm a delivery driver for one of the big name companies in the US. And today I had a route that included a very high-end neighborhood. You know the kind. Fancy houses, winding streets, and cars parked bumper to bumper on both sides of roads that were already barely wide enough for a bicycle, let alone a delivery truck. Next stop, a heavy package. I'm talking at least 80 pounds. Flat pack furniture or a desk. Easy. I pull up directly in front of the house. Flashers on, hazards blinking like a Christmas tree. I know I'm blocking the road, but I'll be quick. That's when she appears. A little old lady comes storming out of the house like a fury out of hell. "You can't park here." I calmly reply, "Okay, where can I park to deliver this?" "Non-residents have to park at the tennis courts. That's half a mile away. It's burning hot outside. I'm already hours behind. No chance I'm lugging an 80-pound test half a mile uphill both ways in this heat." Then I glance at the shipping label. "Are you Karen?" "Well, yeah, but what does that have to do with?" I pull the emergency brake, leave the truck in drive, flasher still going, seatbelt still on, and say, "I'm not parked, I'm technically still driving." I then wrestle the enormous box through the driver's side window, gracefully of course, and plant it upright right at her feet. Scanned as "Delivered, Leftwood resident." And as I roll away, I call out, "Package delivered safely. Have a nice day." In my side mirror, I see her standing there, mouth half open, looking between the desk and my truck squeezing its way down her tight little street. The last story is called Dish Button. I was a cook for a big chunk of my life. The last place I worked was a really nice farm-to-table Italian restaurant. I followed the owners from a previous job. Great people, offered health insurance and 2 weeks vacation. Honestly, it was a good setup. Well, except for the GM. The general manager was a stingy control freak, with a real gift for squeezing pennies out of places you didn't even know had pennies. When we opened, the plan was to serve a simple family meal before every dinner shift. Pasta, a little salad, nothing fancy, just something to keep the staff fueled. That lasted maybe 2 weeks. Then it was just pasta. Then it was nothing at all. No plan, no food. And some days, during double shifts, all I had was a sad little Cliff Bar in my pocket to survive on. Now, mistakes happen in restaurants. It's normal, but not under this GM. If anyone, server or cook, made a mistake, they had to pay for it out of their own pocket. One time I made the wrong pasta dish. Not for a customer, just an internal mix-up. The GM insisted I buy it. I refused. My assistant GM knew this was going to be a thing, so he paid for it instead, laughing the whole time. Eventually, hours were cut, staff were let go, and I started getting split shifts. Those awful work lunch, leave, come back for dinner kinds of days. I hated them, but I needed the money, so I dealt with it. At least the break gave me time to grab food from home or a nearby place. Until one day, lunch got slammed. Like full-on chaos. The team asked if I could stay through my break to help prep for dinner. I said, sure, but I was gonna eat during that break. If I stay, I want something decent to eat, like pasta with meat. We can't do that. So I smiled and said, then I can't stay. Cue the look of panic on both bosses' faces. They couldn't back down now, but they also couldn't handle dinner without help. I left for my scheduled break, ate like a king, and came back refreshed and ready to handle the dinner rush. Oddly enough, those split shifts didn't last much longer. Fast forward to another day. I unexpectedly had a Thursday night off, but I was asked to come in and wash dishes. I needed the money and didn't mind. I've done dishes plenty of times at full pay, so I agreed. I show up and they tell me to clock in under a new dish roll they'd created. Wait, is the pay different? Yeah, just a couple dollars less. I nearly walked out right then and there. The only reason I stayed was for my co-workers. I wasn't about to leave them in the weeds. But oh, I was livid. Then I remembered something. Dishwashers got a free meal. Nobody ever used it, mostly because of the miserly GM. But technically, it was policy. So I turned to the assistant GM and said, I want a pork rigatoni pasta dish with peppers. He looked stunned. What? Who's paying for that? I just smiled, turned and said, dish gets a free meal, and walked away. 10 minutes later, there it was. A steaming bowl of pork rigatoni made just how I liked it. I sat down, took my time, savored every bite, and then got back to work, to approving nods and grins from my coworkers. The GM wouldn't even look at me. That dish clock in button mysteriously disappeared from my screen after that. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.